Hello everyone, my name's Aussie Hornet. Welcome to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. So, we are going to be finishing up Justice for All. We'll be finishing up the last episode, Farewell My Turnabout. Hopefully we get to finish the game today, and yeah, let's get to it. Oh boy. Gah, how did I get into this mess? That's far enough. You can't run forever, Mr. Phoenix Wright. This is the intro we had before. What have I done wrong? I cannot allow you to go on like this. But I'm just a simple defense attorney. Silence! You are no longer worthy of your title. I've had this dream before, someplace, some time ago. As if this day was written into my destiny. Today, I'll stand in court as a lawyer to prove a killer innocent. Here we go. Hello, this is Phoenix Wright. You don't look so well, dude. You're gonna prove me not guilty today, right? If you please, Mr. Lawyer. Remember, it's not just me. Your precious friend's life is riding on today's verdict, too. Gah. Now listen up. You better get on guard a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag and not guilty, I'll never forgive you, ever. Phoenix. Mia! Maya, how's Maya? I don't know. You don't know? She hasn't tried to channel me since yesterday. Mia, what am I supposed to do? Well, like I said, for a lawyer, the worst of times are when you have to force your biggest smiles. But you can't give up. There's still some hope left. Stop it, please! There's nothing left. Not here, not anywhere. Is that a curse on God again? Will you leave me alone? Look, don't call me anymore. I mean it. You're really mean, pal. Ah! Gumshoe! I'm really sorry. Where are you? They let me join the investigation team and we're chasing after the killer, pal. You have some sort of lead? Sorry, but right now we've got 0 leads on the guy. But we're not going to give up. Gumshoe. Until the trial is over, until the verdict is handed down, we're going to do everything we can and find the killer. If we can get Maya out, then you can get on God the guilty verdict he deserves, pal. That's true. I can do that if they found Maya first. You got that? So you have to do whatever you can to make the trial last longer. I have to make the trial last longer? If you go to Mr. Edgeworth with everything you've got, then you two can draw it out. Oh, now I get it. I believe in you, pal. You and Mr. Edgeworth can do it. So, I believe in us. We're going to give it all we got, just like you. Got it. Thanks, Gumshoe. I love Gumshoe. Hey, Phoenix. You understand now, don't you? You have something money will never be able to buy. Friendship. It's the strongest weapon in the world, and you have it in abundance. Yeah. Looks like we're coming to the end. I have to make the trial last as long as I can. Gumshoe will come through. I know it. Alright, here we go. Court is now in session for the trial of Matt on guard. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Now, as I recall, we concluded yesterday's session with a big mystery on our hands. The mystery being what exactly was Miss Adrian Andrews' role in this murder. That is to say, is she really connected to the crime itself? Mr. Edgeworth, if you would please inform the court of today's proceedings. Adrian Andrews. She forged evidence that threw suspicion onto Mr. Ongard, and then proceeded to escape the crime scene by wearing a nickel samurai costume. The guilt of these actions are those from which she cannot escape. And you're saying that she is guilty after all? I'm not finished, Your Honor. Miss Andrews had nothing to do with committing the actual murder. I would like to direct the court's attention to this card. What is that? It looks like a shell. This is the calling card of a certain assassin. Assassin, you say? Yes, Juan Carrera was killed by a professional assassin. And the person who hired the assassin, his client, so to speak, is Matt Ongard. What a surprising turn of events! I would think it's become commonplace by now, Your Honor. I know what's going on in this time. So I know that everything Edgeworth has said is true. But we still have to hold out as long as we can. At least until Maya's safe and sound. I wonder how the trial will turn out today. Well done. Please call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls the defendant's mentor, Mr. Will Powers, to the stand. Oh boy. Come on, Will. Well done, witness. Your name and occupation, please. Okay. I'm, Will Powers. I'm a poor, underpaid action star. And what is your relation to the defendant? Well, I guess I'm sort of a lousy mentor to him in a way, Mr. Powers, please, you don't need to put yourself down so much. Oh, sorry, well, but I'm just kind of a nothing sort of guy. On the night of the murder, you visited the defendant's room. Is this correct? Yes. I didn't know that. But you know, I didn't actually get to see Matt when I went. All you need to do is answer what you're asked. Now then, I'd like you to please testify about when you went to Mr. Ongard's room. Okay, sure. Alright, let's go. After the award ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. I was standing there in front of his room, still in his nickel samurai costume. He was talking with someone. At first, I thought it was the bellboy. I watched the two of them for a while, but then I gave up and went back. I had guests with me that night, and I couldn't make them wait for me. Nothing sounds out of place in Mr. Powers' testimony. And talking with the bellboy is no big deal. If one assumes that the person the sun god was speaking with is an ordinary bellboy, what are you implying? Well, Mr. Wright, let's have your cross-examination, shall we? Looks like we're in another sticky situation. Huh? A trap. Can't you smell it, Phoenix? But for us to find out more, we're just going to have to charge in head first, right? Right, here we go.
Hold it!
The defendant's room? Why did you go there? Well, I'm his mentor, like a big brother, sort of, and I wanted to say congrats. What's wrong? Why did you stop? Mr. Wright! What is it? You're going to try to trick me into a corner, aren't you? I know I'm just a poor, underpaid action star, but I'm not the killer! No one said you were, Mr. Powers. No, please, don't trick me. Every time you do your lawyer's thing, the witness suddenly turns into the bad guy. Every time? Witness? I will personally talk to the defense at a later time. So for now, please kindly cooperate and continue with your testimony. Sorry. So you went to the defendant's room, and then? Hey, wait a minute. When and how did I suddenly turn into the bad guy here?
Hold it!
Are you sure that was Matt Ongard? Yeah, I'm sure. He wasn't wearing the nickel samurai mask then. If that's the case, then he really can't be mistaken. And what was the defendant doing standing in front of his own room? I was talking with someone at first. I thought it was the bellboy.
Hold it!
At first? What do you mean by that? Well, he was a bellboyish uniform and he had a bottle of juice on a tray. Sounds like an ordinary bellboy to me. Yeah, but I didn't think he was a normal bellboy. And why was that? Why did I think that, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Sorry, but I can't remember right now. Sorry. Guess I'm gonna have to wait patiently on this one. I watched the two of them for a while, but then I gave up and went back.
Hold it!
You saw the two of them? The bellboy and the defendant together, correct? Yeah, the bellboy just wanted to say congrats. Now, while you were watching the two of them, did you notice anything strange?
You know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip.
A tip? That's a perfectly normal thing to do.
So how long did you watch the two of them? Not more than a minute or two, I think.
Hey, wait a second. Actually, Mr. Powers, only a few minutes ago you stated...
You know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip.
Could it be that you felt something strange about the tip-giving incident itself?
Oh, yeah, that's it. You really know your job. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor? This bellboy, he wasn't an ordinary one, was he? Perhaps we should let the witness tell us. Very well. Mr. Powers, please amend your testimony. You mean about the bellboy, right? I gave the bellboy a tip.
Hold
So he gave the bellboy a tip? What's so strange about that?
Well, you see, Matt's not a poor penny pincher like me. I'm trying to figure out how much it was because the tip really shocked me.
How much it was?
But that's when something even more surprising happened. The bellboy was putting the tip he got in his pocket. And that's when I got my first good look at the guy's face. I was really shocked. I'm afraid I don't follow at all.
Sounds like Mr. Powers was surprised twice by this event. I wonder which of this shocking moment I should ask about. I feel like it might be Ungod's tip. Bennett is a huge star. He can afford to give generous tips, wouldn't you agree?
Sure. But giving him that much was maybe a little too much, I think.
A little too much?
Could you please clarify for the court? About how much would you say the defendant gave the bellboy? Honestly, I don't know. I can't even begin to guess. And why is that? Because he gave the bellboy a really fat roll of cash.
A roll of cash?
Well, how interesting. That certainly was a very generous tip, wasn't it? A very fat roll of cash that can hardly be called a tip, Your Honor.
The judge is beginning to look awfully suspicious of us.
Objection!
The defendant is a superstar. That kind of tip is typical fare for people like him.
Objection!
Are you saying that all superstars are super spenders? If I can receive large rolls of cash by simply bringing people things on trays, then why on earth would I stand around here prosecuting?
He's got a point. I don't even get paid, let alone rolls of cash for all my hard work.
Well, supposing that roll of cash was not a tip, then what was it? Payment, Your Honor. Payment? Isn't it obvious? For the murder of Mr. Juan Corrida. Then the bellboy the witness saw. Yes, he was the assassin.
Oh
boy. Hold your horses now, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't have any proof of this, do you? Have I ever been unprepared to support my claims, Your Honor? I have here the card Shelley the Killer left at the scene of the crime. Shelley the Killer? He is the person the police specialist investigations team has been chasing for ages. I'm certain that the person the witness saw was this very assassin, Shelley the Killer. Really? What's wrong, Mr. Powers? Nothing. Something just clicked in my face and I just figured something out. Oh?
Actually, I saw that bellboy again later on that night. What? Mr. Powers, please testify. Tell us what you saw. Yes, sir. Right away. This time I was in that hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. And that's when the bellboy I saw earlier came out of the room. Of course, when I say room, I mean Juan Carita's room. When I think about it, the bellboy did seem kind of out of place. Yeah, so he had to be the assassin, I'm sure of it. I mean... Thank you very much, that is all we need for now. Huh? But I'm not done. There's still more. Let's first establish that the bellboy is truly Mr. the Killer, then we shall see. So the bellboy came out of the victim's room? And if that bellboy really was the assassin, then I think the answer is fairly obvious. That would be correct, Your Honor. Well, Mr. Wright, I believe it's your turn to entertain and make us laugh. Is this no laughing matter?
Hold it!
And what time was it? Well, I don't remember. The whole ceremony ended around 8 p.m., right? And I went to Matt's room pretty soon after that, and then I came back. Then I went to the bathroom. I guess maybe it was around 8:10 p.m. by that time. You're not one for details, are you, Mr. Powers? Sorry. I thought I could maybe catch Matt and say my congrats. And that's when that bellboy I saw earlier came out of the room.
Hold it!
Are you sure it was the same bellboy? Yeah. And how could you tell? All the bellboys wear the same uniform after all. But you see, well, he had those stitches in his face. So I'm sure it's the same guy that was talking with Matt. So which room did the bellboy come out of? Of course, when I say room, I mean Juan Carita's room.
Hold it!
The victim's room, huh? Yeah, the one with all the really pretty flowers and teddy bears. It was Juan's room, alright. Words cannot describe how screwed I am.
Let's continue with the testimony, shall we?
Now that I think about it, the bellboy did seem kind of out of place.
Hold
it! So what exactly was so out of place about him?
Right. Why the insipid grin?
Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing he's gonna say next.
Well, the bellboy was empty-handed.
Empty-handed?
The bellboy was one of the room service people, right? But he wasn't pushing a cart, and he wasn't holding a tray either. You call that a little strange too, wouldn't you?
I agree, that is a bit strange, Mr. Powers. But is it really that unusual for a bellboy to be empty-handed? What should I do? Should I let Mr. Powers' testimony slide, or... There's nothing strange or unusual about an empty-handed bellboy.
But there really is.
There really isn't.
Objection!
If you two are done being schoolchildren, bellboys are for room service. There's no reason for them to be empty-handed. Ever. Your Honor, I ask that the witness' previous statement be supplanted with this new one.
Edgeworth, are you going to do whatever you can to make the bellboy look suspicious? I see. Very well. This court recognizes and grants the prosecution's request. Mr. Powers, if you could amend your testimony, please. Yes, sir. I thought it was kind of strange for a bellboy to come out of a guest room empty-handed.
Hold it!
So you're saying that it's suspicious for him to be empty-handed?
Yeah, really suspicious. I mean, when I first saw that bellboy, he was holding a tray in his hand, and there was a bottle of juice and a wine glass on it.
Juice? What kind of juice was it?
I'm pretty sure it was tomato juice.
Come up with some sort of reason as to why he would come out empty-handed. Some sort of proof, then I think we can dodge the bullet on this one for now. Proof, huh? Sounds like another job for the court record.
Objection!
Mr. Powers.
Yes?
You're easily influenced by other people's words, aren't you? As soon as he heard that bellboy might have been the killer, he got caught up in believing it must be true.
But isn't he really suspicious? He's got all those stitches,
So, a baseball has stitches. Are you saying that all baseballs are suspicious because they have stitches?
Well, there's also, what about him being empty-handed?
I would like to ask the court to please take a look here.
This is the crime scene.
There is a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Kurita's body. The liquid inside this glass is tomato juice. And now, if you would look at what is on top of the table in the lower right corner here, anyone can clearly see that it was a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. The bellboy had just brought this to Mr. Kurita's room. He left the tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left.
What? I would mean that the bellboy had seen and left a dead body in the room.
But can you prove that Mr. Kurita was already dead at that time?
Mr. Edgeworth. Yes? I blame you for leading me down this route. I'm terribly sorry.
What is with him? Why is he laughing?
Witness, is there one more thing you would like to share with us? Is there? The bellboy was empty-handed, or should I say empty-handed. I recall you had something interesting to say about his hands. Oh yeah, I almost forgot.
Huh? What?
The bellboy, he was wearing gloves.
Gloves?
Yeah, pitch black, leather ones. All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right? Black leather gloves? Why didn't you mention them earlier? Sorry, it slipped my mind.
Boy, does this make the bellboy look really suspicious. Alright, gotta focus. I can't get lax here. So what if he had gloves? A lot of bellboys wear gloves.
Come on, Mr. Wright. That bellboy was wearing black leather ones.
So, a football is made of leather? Are you saying all footballs are suspicious because they are made of leather?
But that man, he received a large roll of cash from the defendant. And then he was seen leaving the crime scene wearing black leather gloves. I don't think that even someone like myself can believe he was just another bellboy. It seems that we have finally come to an understanding. Now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony.
The rest?
Oh yes, please tell us more. Okay. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's door just like that. He gave something to the person inside the room, and the old guy just left without even going into the room. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. So the bellboy, after leaving the crime scene, next went to the defendant's room? Yeah, I kinda saw all that by accident.
Some accident. I'd say you saw too much. And all of it was suspicious to high heaven. I think it's safe to say that we can no longer consider this bellboy to be normal. Now then, let's get started, shall we? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Is that what you saw while you were busy spying?
Excuse me? I may be a poor underpaid action star, but even I wouldn't stoop to spying.
Oh, I think the point is, where did you watch all this from, Mr. Powers?
In the door of the bathroom on my left eye, and a sort of sneaky spy-like.
I knew he was spying.
Please, does it really matter if he was doing it over or underhandedly? What did the bellboy do next? That's all I care to know. There is something to the person inside the room.
Hold it!
I said hold it!
Okay.
That's better. What kind of statement is that? Please elaborate and give us a few more details.
Okay.
I should probably ask him only one question at a time. He gave something to this person?
Yeah.
And what was this something?
If I remembered what it was, I wouldn't be calling it a something, would I? But this implies that something was removed from the scene of the crime. Are you sure you really can't remember, Mr. Powers? I think it was something kind of small. An incredible, crucial piece of information. Please, try to remember what it was. I'll try. In the meantime, let's talk of another point, namely, what the bellboy did next. Oh, sorry, after you get the person inside the room the thing, the guy just left without even going into the room.
Hold it!
Where did this bellboy go after he left Miss Arnguard's room?
He opened the door to Viola Hall. Went in there, and who knows after that, right?
I do.
After that, I went to the bathroom, then back to my seat.
Hold it!
Did you see anything strange, suspicious, or just out of the ordinary at that time?
Oh yeah, I saw that one thing.
What? You saw something else?
There was this jittery alien with a ray gun. I was watching Juan's door like some sort of stalker.
I think we can forget about the alien. Mr. Powers' testimony just now was just as vague as his first. It's a little troublesome, isn't it? I'm sure if you press him enough, everything will become clearer. Although, that just makes it harder on us, doesn't it? Let's talk about a lose-lose situation. So who took this something the bellboy handed off?
Actually, I don't know.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm.
Only an arm? And you're saying you didn't see the person's face?
Yeah. I'd like to summarize the testimony up to this point, if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There, he handed a small item of some sort to the person inside. As for the person who received the item, all you could see was the person's arm.
Yes, it was just like that. Mr. Edgeworth, is all this really that important?
Yes, Your Honor, I think this is the utmost importance. This is when whatever removed from the crime scene was handed over to the client.
Mr. Powers, please try to remember what it was the bellboy handed off.
Well, let's see. I think it was, no.
You remember, please add it to your testimony.
Yes, sir. If I saw it again, I could say for sure, but I think it was some sort of wooden statue.
Hold it!
A statue?
Yeah, it kind of looked like one, I guess. If I saw the actual thing again, I'd probably remember, you know.
Like for this trial to proceed, you're gonna have to come up with whatever this statue thing is and show it to him. You're gonna have to trust your instinct on this one and take a chance, Phoenix.
Well, Mr. Powers, let's continue with your testimony. What did the bellboy do after that?
Objection!
What was the point of that pregnant pause? Where did that objection come from? Well, speak up.
It was me, Your Honor. What is it, Phoenix? I have a feeling that something bad is going to happen once I show this.
Mr. Wright, if you have something to say, please spit it out.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Phoenix, deep breath. Even though this court has been picking on you, you can do this. Mr. Powers, the something you saw, was it this item?
Oh, hey, that's it. That's the something. Wow, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out. I recall we found this at God's mansion. At the defendant's house? What does this mean? It's simple, Your Honor. Surely the killer assassinated Juan Creed in his room. Then he stole this wooden bear from the scene of the crime. That the bear being found at Mr. God's mansion would mean... It goes without saying, Your Honor. Mr. Man on God is the killer's client. Order! I said order! Mr. Wright, this is the most unfortunate turn of events for you.
Yeah. Sorry, Mia. No, it's alright. Your judgment was sound. Actually, I figured the bear would come up. Not now, then would have later on. Even if you hadn't shown it to the court, I'm sure your friend Edgeworth would have. I almost forgot that he knew about it too. I think it is clear that there is no need for us to continue this trial. I can't let this happen. I have to do something. It has to be something we've overlooked. Your Honor, a minute, please. Yes, Mr. Wright? There are still a few points left that we have not fully explored.
What are you trying to pull?
Oh, well, we can't have that. Alright, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further? There was one thing in Mr. Powell's testimony that was very unclear, and that is the identity of the person who received the bear.
He gave something to the person inside the room. I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm.
As long as we don't know who it was that took the bear, we can't be sure of— Oh!
What is it, Mr. Powers? If you're going to scream like that, then at least give us a good reason why. Oh, yeah, sorry. Actually, so, I remembered. I remembered who took the bear.
What?
Really? I mean, I only saw his arm. But, the arm. It was the Nickel Samurai's arm, I swear.
You've got to be kidding me!
Are you sure of that, Mr. Powers?
Yeah, I'm sure it was the Nickel Samurai.
Order! Looks like you've dug your own grave. Get again.
How many times is that today? I lost count.
The person who took this little bear was the Nickel Samurai. And as we all know, man on God is the Nickel Samurai.
Thanks to the defense, we've made that all the clearer. What am I supposed to do now, Mia? Oh. We don't have time to act lost. Gotta find another angle to attack this from. Hurry.
Now, I will bring this cross-examination to— Your Honor! Again, Mr. Wright? I've already removed any and all questionable areas of this testimony. It's about time you were removed from this court, Rush, right? Mr. Wright, sorry.
I have to find something. Even one more little point will do. There are still questions left unanswered.
What are you trying to pull?
Oh, well, we can't have that.
Alright, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further?
I think it's fairly obvious that the bear itself is very questionable.
The bear, Mr. Wright?
This was found in Mr. Onguard's mansion. However, Mr. Onguard was arrested at the hotel that night, which means that since the murder occurred, he has not had a chance to go home. Oh! I think Your Honor has already figured out what I'm trying to say. It's not possible that it was Mr. Onguard who took the bear to his mansion.
What? That's very true. We didn't consider that point, Mr. Wright. There was no way, time-wise, for the defendant to have taken this bear home.
Whew. Disaster averted.
Objection!
Oh boy.
You haven't done the best of me yet, Mr. Wright.
Huh?
I remember it clear as day. I remember what you muttered to yourself at Onguard's mansion. We have this area completely surrounded. There is no way for him to escape.
I can't believe it. That butler, all this time, he was the killer.
The killer and Onguard were working together, so to speak. And the killer was hiding at the Onguard's mansion as its butler. Well, what a bold move! The bear figurine was brought back to Onguard's mansion by the killer himself. When it looked like he was about to be arrested, Onguard had him do so. I assume because it would have been bad had the police found it during the investigation. Well, Mr. Wright, you've been quiet for a while now. Quiet for a while now.
This is too much. Isn't there anything I can attack at all?
I think we've heard enough. We now know why this bear figurine was at the defendant's mansion. Oh boy. As well as who it was that received the bear from the assassin in the room, everything has become very clear. The client who hired the assassin to commit the murder was Mr. Man on God. I see no reason for this trial to continue. Therefore, I will now hound down my verdict. Thank you, Your Honor, for your understanding. You see, Mr. Wright? You could not win against the truth, could you?
I knew way? After all, what Edgeworth has stated is the truth. Any last objections, Mr. Wright? Well, do I? What should I do? Oh no, no,
Objection!
There's only one way for me to drag this trial out. The only thing I have left is one dirty trick. Your Honor! Right now, we have these two reasons to believe my client is the assassin's client. Reason number one, he accepted the bear figurine from the assassin. Reason number two, that very same figurine was found at Unguard's mansion. However, it's possible this is all the work of a certain other person.
What are you saying?
What am I saying is, it's possible a different person is the killer's real client.
Real client?
Yes.
This is all you have.
Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. Who do you say is the killer's real client, and therefore the real murderer? I'm sorry for doing this, but we need to drag this out.
Take that!
Adrian Andrews? Yes, we already know that she tried to frame Matt Unguard for the crime. By wearing a spare nickel samurai costume. Whoop!
Then the nickel samurai's arm that I saw.
That could have very well been Miss Andrews.
But what about Mr. Ongard?
If you would please recall yesterday's testimony. The defendant was taking a nap during the break period.
That's right. Then finding this figure at Mr. Ongard's mansion.
It was a well-laid trap set by Miss Andrews.
Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion on this? I can't even begin to count the flaws in the defense's logic. Besides which, there is no evidence to support it. However, I can't fully discount its possibility either.
What's with this trial? Come on, anyone can tell Unguard did it. I can't believe the defense would go so far as to pin the guilt onto someone else. Yeah, unbelievable. It's not something petty, it's murder of all things. This is St. Maya. Even if the whole world turns against me, this is one fight I can't give up on. Sorry, Mia. Order, order, order. All disrupted parties will be forced to leave the courtroom.
Your Honor, for the benefit of the defense, I'm willing to play along with his what-if game.
His what-if game, Mr. Edgeworth?
The prosecution is prepared to challenge the defense's theory. Mr. Wright, even if you must have thought it strange and wondered, why would the criminal want this little wooden bear?
He's right. The killer did specially bring that bear to Unguard right away. Why do you ask? Is there something special about it?
Absolutely. But I'm sure that once the court knows its significance, the true killer's identity will become crystal clear. Your Honor, the prosecution calls upon a witness who will clear all doubts against Miss Andrews. And who would that be? It's quite simple, Your Honor. Miss Adrian Andrews herself.
I see. Well then, the court will take a short 10-minute recess. The prosecution will prepare its witness in that time.
Yes, Your Honor.
Alright, here we go. I knew it was a good idea to hold her hostage. Don't you agree, Mr. Lawyer? But I never thought in your desperation you'd try to pin the guilt onto Adrian. Ugh, I swear this demon will pay. Mr. Nick! The pearls! Where's Mia? I don't know. A really strong power suddenly called her away. A really strong power? Oh, Mr. Nick, you found us. It's from Gumshoe.
How's it going? Have you been hanging in there, bro?
Yeah, sort of. We just barely found something to latch onto.
Phew, that's good, pal.
And what about you? Anything yet? Have you figured out where the killer and Maya are?
We still don't have any leads, but...
What? We don't have any more time!
If we just had one, even a single clue would be really helpful.
I'm only able to come far because I kept thinking to myself, I've got to keep the trial going until Maya's been rescued. Have I just run out of luck this time? Although I hope for not. A tent. Huh? A tent? I can see a circus tent. Mia? It looks like Maya was unconscious until just a few minutes ago. As soon as she woke up, she called for me. So is Maya that called you away? She's locked in a dusty little room right now. But I can see a circus tent outside the window about 300 feet away. Gumshoe! Is there a circus in town right now? There's only one, pal. The Berry Brick Circus. Maya is somewhere within a 300-foot radius on the main tent. What? Okay, hold on a sec, pal. Great, draw a circle on that map. About a 300-foot radius from the main tent. Hurry! And I can see a mailbox under the window just outside. Gumshoe! There's also a mailbox. Okay, what else? What else, Mia? I'm sorry, but it was a very small window. I couldn't see anything else. I felt like it was an office building. Maybe the 3rd floor, sir. I heard her! An old office building. Good stuff, pal. Okay, just hang in there. Just a little longer, pal. Wish us luck. Good luck. I'll call you later, so don't let your battery die, okay, pal? Mia, Maya's not hurt, right? She's in a pretty bad state, Phoenix. She's being starved. Oh boy. Gumshoe, please hurry. Looks like we're out of time. Are you alright, Phoenix? It's only a matter of time before Maya's rescued. I can do this. I just have to make this trial last a little longer.
Court will now reconvene. The killer, the man who murdered the victim, handed this to this client. From this, one obvious question arises. Why this particular item? I believe the answer to that question will provide us with the name of the real culprit. Now then, the prosecution calls the defendant's manager, Adrian Andrews, to the stand. Currently, the witness is accused of tampering and obstruction of justice. However, you have been called to the witness stand today to ascertain who exactly is guilty of murder.
I understand.
Very good. Now, have you ever seen this bed before, Miss Andrews?
Of course I have.
You've seen it before? That's right. It's only natural that the witness has. Miss Andrews, could you please enlighten the court to this bed's secret?
Alright. Why does she... Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. As its center is a small cavity, with just enough room to store a small item. But its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bed. You really can't tell that it's a small jewelry box just by looking at it.
So this figurine, it's a container of sorts, is it?
It can be deceiving, wouldn't you agree?
Yes, this is superb craftsmanship. Oh, yes, I nearly forgot. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright.
Looks like there really was something to that bear after all.
Hold it!
A puzzle? That's right.
But it looks like an ordinary figurine.
True enough. People who don't know, I'm sure they would never guess that this was a puzzle. So what kind of puzzle is this exactly? If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time.
Hold it!
So you can take it apart? And how would one go about doing that? Well, you first turn its tail to the right and then push it in.
Oh, yes, I see.
After that, the arms and legs are free to move and can be removed.
Ooh, this is most interesting.
Boy and his new toy. It's like he's 5 all over again. Why is he playing with the bear?
Oh, don't mind me. Go ahead and carry on.
I think he's lost it.
So what do you find until you take the puzzle apart?
At the center is a small cavity with just enough room to store a small item.
Hold it!
And how do you know about this? I know because I was the one who bought it. Huh? It was a souvenir from when a friend and I went to Switzerland.
Then this was a present from you?
That's right. There's a puzzle in the shape of a bear, so I thought it would be perfect for one. So is it a present from Miss Andrews?
Goodness, let's continue with your testimony.
Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open a bear.
Hold it!
So who exactly knew how to solve the puzzle? Only the two of us, Juan and myself. It was a souvenir from Switzerland. So I doubt there are that many people with the same bear in this country.
But this looks like it could be easily broken. Especially if someone wanted to get what's inside.
Well, it's a toy, but it can never be the same again once it's been broken. You really can't tell that it's a small jewelry box just by looking at it.
Hold it!
Who else knows that this bear is actually a small container or jewelry box? I never told anyone. And as long as Juan never told anyone either, then only the two of us knew. The two of you? Huh? And of course that means Mr. Angad didn't know, right? I think this is about all I'm gonna get for now.
Well, Mr. Wright, I think even you have come to realize that there is one very important fact we have uncovered, and that is this. This bear is actually a jewelry box. Now that we have agreed to this point, there's only one logical question that can come next, and that is this. What is inside this box?
What's inside?
That's right. That's what we are going to find out next, witness. Yes? You are the only one who can open this. Please.
What is it? There's a painful silence hanging over the courtroom. All eyes are on Miss Andrews now as she solves the puzzle and takes the bear apart. Alright, let's see what it is. I've opened it. Is this what you wanted?
What is that? It looks like a note. I don't think we need to guess at what that is, do we, Mr. Wright? It's the suicide note. The suicide note? The suicide note left by Juan Carita's former manager, Celeste Impax. Until now, no one knew of its whereabouts, but just as we suspected, it was hidden. Hidden by the victim, Juan Carita himself. It seems Celeste Impax had very beautiful handwriting, and she's just as beautifully signed her own name on this document. This is most definitely the note she left right before she committed suicide.
Oh boy.
Order! Witness! Did you know about this?
Yes, I did. I heard all about it from Juan. When I discovered his body, I looked for the bear. I wanted to destroy the note before it became public, but I couldn't find it anywhere.
Because it had already been taken by the killer.
My fingers going at Mr. Edgeworth's pace. So now that the suicide note has been found, what's the next logical question? What is written on the note? That's right. At least, that's what I would think.
Now then, I believe it is only appropriate the contents of this note be made known.
I can't stop you, can I? I went through so much just to get my hands on it. And I was going to burn it, for her sake.
I'm deeply sorry, but I cannot allow you to persuade me to stop. Your Honor, if you could please read the contents of the note aloud.
Very well. The judge's voice rang loud and clear through the deathly silent courtroom. In her note, Celeste Impax left to us a record of all that had happened to her. About being used and then being thrown away by Angad. About being engaged to Carita and Angad's role in destroying that. And about how she decided, in her despair, to end it all.
And that's all Miss Impax had to say. There's one thing I would like to say here. The prosecution has no interest in slandering Mr. Angad. Then what? Our intention, Your Honor, is to establish a motive for murder. Isn't that correct, witness?
Yes. On the night of the murder, Juan was going to make the contents of the note public. At the post-ceremony show, he was going to hold a press conference.
My word! Man God values above all else his refreshing like a spring breeze image, which is why he has to stop this note from being made public. At any cost.
It's not God's fault that woman killed herself. And this time, he even went so far as to kill someone to stop her from revealing that. How terrible. What a selfish person. I guess there are slimeball lawyers out there who will defend these creeps too.
There's no room for doubt here. This is the killer's client's goal, was to obtain a suicide note. The only person who needed this note that badly is the defendant. Let's not forget that the barrel with the note inside was found at the defendant's house.
It seems that we have come to the truth at last. The defendant's motives were entirely selfish. He deserves no sympathy from anyone. How am I supposed to escape from this one? Why no hesitation, Phoenix? Gumshoe hasn't called yet, so you know what you must do. I know. I have to carry on and buy him some more time. Okay. There are 2 deadly pieces of evidence, the figurine and the suicide note. Maybe somehow I can find a way out of the situation through one of those. The gavel is already in the judge's hand, Phoenix. Hurry! Suicide note or the figurine? Which one of these should I pursue?
Objection!
Please wait, Your Honor! Oh man, look at that lawyer. He's still going at it? It's like he doesn't care that he's trying to get a killer off the hook. I think Your Honor believes that man got killed in order to obtain this note. Yes, that is correct. But that seems a little strange. In fact, I think there is a contradiction here. This note was hidden by Mr. Kurita until the night of the murder. If that is the case, then the man on guard could not have known what was written on this note.
Oh, I didn't think of it that way.
Exactly, but I did think of it that way, and I thought it was rather strange. No one in their right mind would kill for a note without first knowing what it said.
Order, order, order. You make a valid point, Mr. Wright. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion?
It's just a flash, but I think I did rather well on this one. Unfortunately. I think he believes differently.
I believe a show of appreciation is in order. Huh? The defense seems to be in love with wishing more despair upon itself. I would like to direct the court's attention to this. What is that? It is a very small video camera, Your Honor. This type of camera is commonly used as a means of spying.
So spying? What the? I thought that spy camera was in my possession.
My guard and the victim both thought of the other as their biggest rival. They even went so far as to use this type of item to find each other's weaknesses. And? The victim, Juan Kurita, was being spied on. His personal life was being watched by none other than Matt Huntgard.
Oh boy.
Order, order! Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor?
You don't tell me you knew about your client's spying activities.
Well, sort of.
Sort of is not an acceptable answer, Mr. Wright. I see you are confused, Mr. Wright. You're probably thinking, but I have the camera that was in the stuffed bear's eye. But this camera that I have is not the same one. Last night I searched the victim's house on a hunch. Using this.
Gumshoe's bug sweeper.
By the way, Mr. Wright, the defendant's fingerprints were found on this camera. I don't know, God's fingerprints were on there?
Well, Phoenix, looks like those cameras were hidden all over the place, huh? What am I supposed to say to that evidence?
I think this is the end. It's fairly obvious that Matt on God learned of the suicide note through this. He was watching the victim all along.
You got me good this time. I don't have anything to counter that. Hey, now what's that lawyer thinking? Mommy, is that man a bad killer guy? Shush, stop, don't look at him. The way he's sweating is just so ill, nasty. Phoenix? Yes, Chief? I figured out what we're going to do next. What I'm going to do next? I was running away like a frightened child would. Now it seems like Mr. Edgeworth is very close to playing the lid in this case. But, as he managed to prove his point, he forgot one very important thing. Well, what is it, Mia? There's a piece of evidence that he really should investigate. Something he should investigate? I really hate to see a good prosecutor get scolded for not remembering to look into the item when we had the chance. Why are you speaking in riddles all of a sudden? Alright, I think it's time we finally understand everything. Well, Mr. Wright, you don't have any further objections, do you? What is this piece of evidence Mia is talking about? Can I figure out what it is that still needs to be looked at, or should I let it go? I have an objection, Your Honor.
That was about the weakest objection I've ever heard, Mr. Wright.
Objection!
Your Honor, the defense has no intention of letting this go so easily.
You're beginning to sound desperate.
That's just your imagination, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, this is not like you at all. In your eagerness to prove your point, you've forgotten one very important thing. Hey, isn't that what I just said?
So you're telling me that I forgot something?
We're so close, Mr. Edgeworth. But there's something you really should examine about this piece of evidence.
Take that!
That is Miss Impact's suicide note, right?
Who knows? I mean, sure, the suicide note was found inside the bear. But this bear was in my possession until only a few moments ago. Which means... the handwriting on the suicide note has yet to be analyzed! Oh! So? As to whether this pivotal piece of evidence was really written by Miss Impacts or not, that has yet to be even remotely confirmed! Yeah.
Mr. Wright, you can't seriously be suggesting...
Mr. Wright, are you saying this suicide note is a fake? Miss Andrews, you were the one who tried to pin this murder on Mr. On-Guard. Who's to say you didn't create a fake suicide note and put it into this bear? How dare you?
Objection!
Your Honor, the defense is indiscriminately accusing the witness again. There is no evidence linking the witness to the suicide note whatsoever.
Objection!
But if this is a fake, then the witness is the only person who could have made it.
What?
Recall the witness's testimony concerning this figurine. The only person other than the victim who could have solved the puzzle is the witness herself. Miss Andrews, you wrote this note, didn't you? You wrote it so you could have used it to frame Man on Guard. I did no such thing.
Objection!
Right. If you're going to pronounce this suicide note as a fake, then show this court some evidence to support your theory.
Objection!
Mr. Edgeworth, you were the one who presented this scrap of paper as evidence. That means the burden of proof lies with you, the prosecution.
That's enough. Mr. Edgeworth, can you confirm the handwriting on the suicide note? It is as the defense has stated, the handwriting has yet to be analyzed. If that's the case, it seems that yet again we have reached a point where a verdict is impossible. That's impossible!
This isn't good, Phoenix. The judge is going to carry this trial over one more day. I think Maya will physically be able to make it another day.
I wanted to have to do this, but I don't have a choice. I request that both the prosecution and defense further investigate.
Handwriting analysis my butt. That's just a lawyer trying to buy more time. On-Guard is guilty. Look, any idiot can tell you that. I think we've reached the end of the line. Guilty! 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 Man, They don't want On Guard to leave at all. What is that sound? It's Gumshoe. Hello, Gumshoe? What is with him? What is with that sigh? Where's Maya? What happened to the killer? He got away. What? I'm sorry, pal. I don't know what to say besides I'm sorry. I wish there was some way to make it up to you. I really do. Anyway, what's going on? We found his hideout, pal. But the two of them were already gone. This is terrible. I'm going to keep looking for them, pal. Don't you worry. I just need a little more time. But don't tell me we don't have any more. The crowd is chanting guilty again. You hear that? They're going for his head. Mr. Wright, I can't. For us to come this far and... Oh! What is it? Let me talk to Mr. Edgeworth. I can't do that. Mr. Wright, would you please get a hold of yourself? Yes, Your Honor. I'm about to end today's proceedings. You may take your phone calls after. Hold on, Your Honor. Edgeworth, catch!
Take that!
Edgeworth! Please, you gotta buy us some more time.
Court is in session. I'm sorry, Your Honor. You were saying?
Mr. Wright, this is a court of law. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but...
I'm reluctant to do this, however. It appears that I have no choice but to suspend proceedings until tomorrow.
This time I really can't do anything.
Court is now adjourned for the day.
Wait.
Please wait, Your Honor.
Edgeworth?
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? I humbly request another 30 minutes of Your Honor's time. For what purpose? We can perform the necessary tests on this piece of evidence in that time. But can you really obtain your results in 30 minutes? I believe we can, Your Honor. But wouldn't it be better if we adjourn for today and then reconvene tomorrow? 30 minutes. Please, Your Honor. That's all I'm asking for.
Please, Your Honor.
Very well. At the prosecution's request, the court will now take a 30-minute recess. But be advised, I will not allow another recess today.
I'm not sure if this is helping or hurting us.
The court will now take its final recess of the day.
Oh boy. Come on, Gumshoe.
Right. Well, what's going on with my situation?
The killer. It looks like he got away again. 30 minutes? We can't find her at that time.
Report! Is that Mr. Edgeworth? We don't have time, just spit it out. Right. Looks like we just missed him, sir. But the killer left a few things behind by accident in his rush to get away. A few things?
Can we use any of them as evidence?
I thought you'd ask, pal. I got the things he left with me right now, and I'm on my way over.
Really?
That's odd. Any items like that are usually sent to the crime lab first. I don't have time to wait for those guys, sir. When those guys weren't looking, I swiped the stuff and ran.
What?
Well, I'm not a detective anymore, so I had to. I'm really sorry, sir, but I gotta put the law on hold for now.
Sounds bad. I hope he doesn't get into too much trouble over this. Come on, Gumshoe.
My 100 jump car, I'll say I'll be there in about 20 minutes, sir. Don't worry, I'll be there. Wait for me. Alright, just get there here in one piece. I'm on a mission and no one can stop me now, sir. No one. I'm pulling out all the stops and running every red light.
What? Alright, you do that, Gumshoe.
I'm still quite better, huh?
Maybe there's something among them that will be decisive enough to dent this. What just happened? Gumshoe?
Hey, what's wrong? Detective Gumshoe, answer me!
No one can stop me. Well, now what? What happened?
It sounded like he had an accident. I'm guessing his cell phone broke as well.
What was he thinking? Gotta hurry and call for help.
We have no idea where he is. His cell phone is broken and he wasn't driving a patrol car, so no radio either. Also, if we don't get to those items before they do, the police will take possession of them.
No! We can't let that happen.
Well, if there is a way we can find out where he is, then we stand a chance.
Why did Gumshoe have to get into an accident now? Is there any way to find out exactly where he is at this moment? That's right, there is a way.
What? Huh?
I'm sure we can find out where Detective Gumshoe is through this.
Take that!
Why are you bringing up Francisca at a time like this? Oh, I see. I'll try to get in contact with her. The chances are slim, but she's all we have.
Francisca, will she even want to help us? Edgeworth,
What is it?
I don't have any right to judge anyone ever again. I know my client is guilty, but what I'm doing now, I'm putting the guilt onto someone totally innocent and using the evidence to do so. It might be my turn to say, defense attorney Phoenix Wright chooses death.
Right. It doesn't suit someone like you to cry useless tears. Whether you did your job well or not, that can only be seen after the verdict has been decided.
The verdict? Prosecutor Edgeworth here?
Yes, bailiff?
There's a phone call for you, sir. They said it was extremely urgent.
I'm probably finished with the handwriting analysis. I have to go take this call. In the meantime, think hard about what it is you must do.
Court will now reconvene. I assume both sides are ready? Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
I understand the defense acting like this. However, why do you also seem distraught, Mr. Edgeworth?
It's nothing, Your Honor.
What's wrong with Edgeworth? Looks like something unexpected just happened to him. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you can please tell the court the results of the handwriting analysis on the Syntax suicide note.
Yes, Your Honor. Unfortunately, we have discovered that this suicide note is a forgery.
What? What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
This note was not written by Miss Syntax herself. It is a fake.
Order. Mr. Edgeworth, would you care to explain what is going on? If this was not written by Miss Syntax, then who wrote it?
We need more time to do a more detailed analysis, however. It appears that the handwriting mentions that of the victim, Mr. Juan Carrito.
Mr. Carrito? Well. Looks like Miss Syntax never left a suicide note after all. She never wrote anything about On God.
However, Your Honor, even though the suicide note is indeed a fake, Mr. On God could not have known that, and so that fact remains unchanged. Acting under the assumption that it was real, he had plotted to possess it.
That does sound very plausible. It's weird that On God had no idea that the suicide note was a fake. Something seems a little wrong with it. It's no use. It feels wrong, but I can't put my finger on what it is. Actually, there is something I would like to ask. Mr. Edgeworth, you had stated something earlier to the effect of the defendant had spied on Mr. Carrito's private life. I believe this would mean that he would have known about the note as well. That's it. Yes, and so naturally, this means Mr. On God would have known that the note was a fake. Order. See here, Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I was the one who thought of the spying thing. Jumping in and stealing my funnel like that is simply... I can't even describe it. Sorry. Yes, sorry. Could have bragged about embarrassing Mr. Edward to my grandchild had you not. For that, I assign you a penalty, Mr. What? If only I'd kept my mouth shut. So then, the defendant knew the suicide note was a fake? And if that's true, then the situation has suddenly changed in a very dramatic way. Exactly, Your Honor. Prosecution's theory as to what Mr. Unguard's motive for murder was, it had suddenly disappeared into thin air.
But, Your Honor, it's not as if Mr. Unguard monitored Mr. Kurita 24 hours a day. Perhaps the victim wrote the note in a place Mr. Unguard didn't know of.
Well, right back at you, Mr. Edgeworth. Why don't you show us some proof that the victim made the forgery at an unknown place? Order, order, order. Mr. Edgeworth? Looks like this time it is you who has dug his own grave.
As I figured. Huh?
As you figured?
As I figured, it came down to this after all.
Mr. Edgeworth, you are not making any sense.
When I heard the results of the handwriting analysis, I thought this might happen. The question is, what next?
What next?
The prosecution can't prove Mr. Unguard's motive through the evidence, so we must prove it from another angle.
Well, I agree with you there.
Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call a witness to the stand at this time.
Oh? Well, that's fine.
However, this witness is a little unusual.
After stuttering? This is not like him at all. Unusual? Well, what sort of witness is this person, Mr. Edgeworth?
This witness is one who is perfectly fit to answer once and for all the question of who was it that hired Shirley the killer to commit murder?
That's impossible. Who in the... No such person exists. Who can answer that question with such certainty?
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth. Who is this witness? Yes, go on, who is it? The man himself. Mr. Shirley the killer.
What? Oh, Mr. the killer.
Oh, wait! Shirley the killer? You mean the killer? I mean the assassin? Yes, Your Honor.
He's coming here to the witness stand?
Well, yes, in a manner of speaking. I recognize that this is a very unusual circumstance, so I ask for your permission.
Well, Mr. Wright? Yes? Is this alright with you? Do I have a choice here? I can't really do much else to drag this trial out. The defense has no objections, Your Honor.
I wonder if it really is alright to do this. Very well then, the prosecution calls its witness to the stand.
Edgeworth, is there no other way left to us?
Witness, your name and your, occupation, please.
Very good, sir. My name is Shirley the Killer, and I am a professional assassin.
I say! What is going on here? Your Honor?
How do you remain so calm, and what is the meaning of this two-way radio?
Actually, Your Honor, it was delivered to me just now, and it came with a condition. As long as we do not trace its source, Mr. the Killer would testify to this court.
So this must be what that urgent phone call he got earlier was about.
Oh no, this will not do. I cannot allow this in my court.
First of all, we can't even be sure this is really Mr. the Killer himself.
Witness, please present some sort of proof that you are, in fact, Shirley the Killer.
I understand. Please wait a second. I'm so hungry.
Maya! Maya! A voice! Mr. Wright, can you confirm anything from this?
The defense has no objections to this person. We have certified that this man is indeed Shirley the Killer.
Looks like we have run into yet another unexpected turn of events. Well, it does seem like we have too many choices under these circumstances, so... Now then, witness, there's one thing I would like to confirm before we speak of anything else.
And what would that be?
At the request of a client, you killed Mr. Juan Kurita. Is this correct?
It is as you say. I did indeed kill Mr. Kurita.
Now that we have answered that, let's move on to the name of the client.
Very well. It was all just a bad dream. Yes, that's it. A bad dream. Charlie the killer. What is he gonna say? There is something I must first state. To an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand. It is my wish that you grasp this concept before I give the name of my client. Mr. the Killer seems to be a very clever man. I'd almost say he seems to be mocking us.
Well, he may appear to be our enemy, Your Honor. Mr. the Killer is only stating the truth. He is no hypocrite. He has always stood by this one's belief.
You mean about this trust between his clients and himself thing? There seems to be a level of trust beyond what people like me can comprehend. Well, Mr. Wright, are you ready to cross-examine the witness? Yes, Your Honor. There's no way to know what's coming next, so stay cool and collected, Phoenix. So, we're cross-examining a radio transceiver. Nice. We can hear anything you have to say later. Can you please just tell us your clients? I don't think you understand your place, Mr. Attorney. I said this is something I must first state. Do you know what the word first means? Sorry, go on. Well, it appears this is one witness you can't badger, Mr. Wright. That's only because you don't know about Maya's situation. For an assassin, nothing is more important than the trust between a client and himself.
Hold it!
The trust between you and your client. I provide my services in a fast and efficient manner. In exchange, I trust that my clients are discreet about me and my identity. If too many people knew my face, it would be quite troublesome.
And that is why you're testifying in this manner?
This is the first time one of my clients has ever been accused of murder. I must preserve the killer name so my clients can trust me. But couldn't someone stab you in the back and break your trust? That's never happened before, but if it ever did, yes, that person wouldn't be my client for very long. They would certainly. That's enough. Please, no more. Very well, it was only a hypothetical anyway. And that is the reason I am here today on this witness stand.
Hold it!
That seems a little strange to me. I mean, you're about to tell us the name of your client. I would think that this would be very bad for them. It doesn't matter to me. This client has already broken the rules and acted outside of their prescribed role. Their role? This person tried to implicate another of the crime in order to save themselves. And this is a trespass that cannot be forgiven. Who gave you the right to be so high and mighty? To the gentleman who spoke just now, excuse me, but would you care to die?
Oh, no, I didn't say anything.
The judge had better watch himself. I'm sorry, but I was wondering about something you just said. You said that your client had already broken the rules. A person who frames another is the worst kind of human. And that's why you feel you can betray this person? I have no trust relations with a client who can't understand their assigned role. It's just my luck. An assassin with a conscience. Who would have figured? Now then, everyone, do you think you can understand my logic? This case just keeps getting better and better. If you can't, then I'm afraid we can't proceed. Everyone understands your point, I think, really. In that case, I believe I am prepared to disclose the information you seek.
You have made it crystal clear that you value trust over all else. I believe we are ready.
Excellent.
Hold it!
What is... I can't bring myself to ask the client's name.
If you can't ask it, Mr. Wright, then I will. Witness? What is the name of your client who requested the murder of Mr. Juan Corrida?
The person's name is... Adrian Andrews. What? I knew he was gonna say that. What?
Objection!
Witness!
That's not who you told me it was earlier!
Rachel, what are you talking about, Mr. Prosecutor? think I know my own client, and it is Adrian Andrews. What? Oh, wait.
This can't be. On the phone earlier.
What's going on here? My guess is that Mr. Killer just stabbed Mr. Edgeworth in the back. Stabbed Edgeworth in the back? I'm sure in order to get an audience with this court, Mr. Killer told him a different name. Man on God, perhaps? I knew it!
Objection!
This is outrageous. I was deceived. This witness is telling a very serious lie. Oh, but you're the one who summoned this witness. You, Shelley the Killer.
My testimony is the truth. The defendant at the moment is man on God. Am I correct? All I wish to do is help procure his acquittal. Well, all of a sudden it feels like we can actually win this. Yeah.
The prosecution has failed to provide a motive and has instead provided a suicide note, which is a forgery created by the victim. Furthermore, there is a possibility the defendant himself knew it was a fake. But most definitive of all, we have heard from the assassin himself the name of his client. Mr. Killer's client who requested the murder was not the defendant at all. No! For all this evidence, it is obvious to me that this means that Mr. Matt on God is innocent. Oh shit. I seem to have caused you all a bit of confusion. Please continue the discussion and call me when you have reached a verdict. Bailiff, please bring Mr. Adrian Andrews in immediately.
What now? The way this is going, On God will be found innocent. This may be our last chance to save Maya. Yeah, but Edgeworth is right. The killer is lying. And On God, my client, I know he's guilty. Can I live with myself if I win this?
I would have believed that the prosecution's own witness would have absolved the defendant. Your Honor, the prosecution requests permission to further question the witness. Shelley the Killer is certainly lying under oath.
It wasn't me. Listen, everyone, please. That testimony just now, it was all one big lie. Miss Andrews? The suicide note may have been a fake. But that man, Matt, he's the reason Celeste died. And Juan's death. It was all because he got pulled into Matt's twisted world. That testimony just now, you have to believe me. It was a horrible, horrible lie.
But Mr. Killer himself has testified. He has named you as his client.
No, that's not true.
Also, there's quite a bit of evidence that points to you. The knife and bun, donning the nickel samurai costume.
But that's...
You even have a motive. We know that Miss Celeste Impact was a large part of your life. You wanted to follow her, and you wanted revenge against the two who hurt her. I would say you have plenty of reasons to want them both dead.
No. Mr. Wright. You know the truth. Tell them. Tell them the real story. Who the real killer is. Tell them. Please. Help me. Sorry, Adrian. Yes, I know the truth.
Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I believe we have reached the end of this trial. Therefore, I ask the defense for any final words or opinions.
I have to decide. Do I take the not guilty verdict and save Maya? Or do I throw this chance away and wait for Gumshoe's new evidence? What am I supposed to do? Phoenix. I can't do it, Mia. I can't accept it not guilty. You're a lawyer. I know. But Man on God is a killer. A murderer. I can't let him get away with this. I can't let someone else take the fall. If I let Miss Andrews be convicted, then I am no better than On God. And even though I don't want to admit it, I have to face the fact that it's because of Edgeworth that I now know the real truth. He could have gotten On God convicted so many times over, but he never took a single one of those chances. I take this verdict right now. I'd be betraying his trust. His trust. I haven't thought about it until now. I trust him? Yes, you do.
Mr. Wright, your opinion, please?
The defense requests that we be allowed to further question Mr. Killer.
Am I hearing you correctly, Mr. Wright? Right. But that witness has cleared your client through this testimony. Your job here is done.
I'm not done yet. To see through witnesses' lies and find the truth. That is my job, Your Honor. There's still more evidence to look at. And I'm sure that once those pieces arrive here in this very courtroom, a miracle will occur.
Very well. The trial will continue. Mr. Edgeworth, please re-establish connection with Mr. the Killer. Right away, Your Honor.
Has a verdict been reached?
Before that, we would like to talk with you a little more.
About? All you needed from me was the name of my client. What else could you need me for?
Well, actually, we would like to hear everything you know about this case. That is how things are usually done.
What is he talking about? Usually done?
What shall we have him testify about now? Mr. the Killer, if you don't mind, please testify about your client in more detail.
You legal people and your procedures. Is it any wonder no one likes to go to court? As I have already stated quite a few times, Adrian Andrews is my client. However, one thing I simply cannot overlook is tampering with the scene of the crime. My client did it to frame another for the crime, while pretending to be the first person to discover the body and enter the scene. Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Carita was dead. But even more appalling is the creation and planting of the knife and button. That act is what I was referring to when I said my client had broken the rules.
This is a most unexpected turn of events for the, 5th time now. However, this time, everything has finally been revealed.
Objection!
Just a second, Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
You still have the cross-examination to do. But you don't need to question testimony like this. Do you, Mr. Wright?
Your Honor, the defense will question the witness, as if I have a choice here.
Huh? Why? What this witness has said is nothing but beneficial to the defense's case. If you scrutinize the testimony, then
I'll expose the lies in that oh-so-beneficial testimony, I suppose.
I don't understand what's going on anymore.
That makes two of us. I'd think that most people wouldn't be able to overlook a person hiring another to kill. If I had a problem with such a thing, I wouldn't be very effective at my job. Yeah. Well, a change in occupation might be good for you. However, I will say this. Even though I am the one that does the deed, my clients are always the real guilty party.
It goes without saying, Mr. the Killer.
And their fate is to live with the knowledge of their guilt on their shoulders. However, my client this time thought that they could run away from their guilt. My client did it to frame another for the crime.
Hold it!
Are you talking about the button and the knife? Yes, on my business card. Oh, this card. So that no one has to waste their time, including the police. I always make it a point to make things as easy as possible.
You try to make things easy?
The business card makes it very easy to identify who carried out the service. He's pretty devoted to his work. I did disregard everything to go and stab the deceased with a knife, and even hide my card from sight. That is something I cannot overlook. It's really hard to tell if he's being truthful or not without him being here. Adrian Andrews already knew from the very beginning that Juan Carita was dead.
Objection!
Thank you so much for taking the time to testify, Mr. the Killer. What is the meaning of that attitude? When Adrian Andrews entered the victim's room, your client had no idea that Juan Carita had been murdered.
But how do you know that?
From this wine glass, Your Honor.
A glass?
Mr. the Killer's supposed client thought Mr. Carita had only fainted, which is why this glass of tomato juice was poured for the victim.
But isn't that just a part of Adrian Andrews' calculated plan?
That is not possible, Your Honor. The glass bears the fingerprints of that person. Had this been planned, they would never have left their fingerprints behind.
I see your point. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your opinion? Strangely enough, I had the same exact thought just now. Witness, how did you explain the strange phenomenon?
Isn't it a waste of time to ask about such a minor detail? It's not a very important point anyway, correct?
I'm afraid you are mistaken. If Adrian Andrews really is your client, as you claim, then your client should have had knowledge of Mr. Kurita's death. If not, then that can only mean that Adrian Andrews was never your client at all!
How strange.
Yes?
Why is it that the attorney has yet to raise an objection at this absurd situation? Phoenix, if the killer figures out what we're up to, we're in real trouble. Yeah, I know.
Objection!
Mr. Edgeworth, I'm surprised. You know you can't say things like that without any evidence.
Oh, sorry.
Well, that was an awfully weak objection for the two of you.
Anyway, I am positive there was a contradiction in that testimony. The prosecution requests further testimony concerning when the request was taken.
Very well. Right now I have to buy us more time. While we wait for the items the killer left behind to get here. I just know that the very outcome of this trial lies with those items. This request came to me, about a week ago. It was a request for my services on the night of the award ceremony. We met at a certain bar to discuss and finalize a few matters. That is what occurred. I trust my memory, and I believe I have made no mistakes.
So you physically met your client, huh?
That is correct. Meeting one's client is the first step to building trust, in my opinion.
I see. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please.
Hold it!
So you physically met Adrian Andrews, right?
Of course I did.
What was that? What was with the brief pause? Witness, I would like for you to give us a few more details. I always meet my clients as a matter of principle. I've never taken a request by telephone or mail.
And why is that?
That's because I value the trust between a client and myself above all else. And the only way to establish that is to speak to the client while looking them in the eye.
Well, Mr. Wright, was the testimony just now of any importance?
Then I think I've got him. Your Honor, I believe the testimony just now was of the utmost importance.
Oh, really? If that's the case, witness, please include the statement just now in your testimony.
Very well. From the moment I saw him, I thought I could trust this person as my client. Ha! Gotcha!
Objection!
I would like to go over this one more time. You met Adrian Andrews at a bar and took the request at that time?
Yes, that is correct.
And that's when you thought he was trustworthy? How many times must I repeat myself? Yes, that is correct. I'm sorry, but that is an impossible tale.
What?
Shelley the killer. You have never met the real Adrian Andrews. Why would you say that? Because you made one very big slip up. About her.
So what is the issue? What did you say just now?
About her? If you had ever met Adrian Andrews in person, one look would have told you that she is a woman.
Oh! Order in the court. Mr. Wright, what is the meaning of this?
This witness testified to the following. That he always meets face-to-face with his clients when taking their requests.
But he has never met Adrian Andrews in person. Yes, Your Honor. That is exactly the point. That means Mr. the Killer's client could not have been Miss Adrian Andrews.
Oh. Is that transceiver leaking oil or something?
Mr. Edgeworth, I understand your logic on this one. However,
Why would the assassin make such a basic mistake?
I believe it has to do with her name, Your Honor.
Her name?
Yes, Adrian Andrews is, without a doubt, a very androgynous name.
Yes,
Luckily for Mr. the Killer, the entire time he was on the stand, no one had stated Adrian Andrews' gender. And so, he simply picked the wrong gender to go with.
What? What is going on? Shirley the Killer. This court demands an explanation. I think somehow I must have mixed up this client with another.
So does that mean you remember something different now?
Yes, of course. Please, if you would allow me to testify once more. And I was just going to spit out more lies. Very well, but this time please give us the truth, and nothing but the truth. Yes, now I remember. I took that request by mail. There have been times when I took a job without having met my client. The request was for the murder of one Karita and 2 or 3 other small things. When I saw the name at the end of the letter, I thought my client to be a man. So you took this job for a letter? He didn't mention anything about a letter in his earlier testimony. Which means he is definitely lying. Be careful, Phoenix. If you break the assassin's testimony completely, it's over for us. I know. I can't make him suspicious. But I think we're okay, like we can do this. As long as he's standing there across from me. No matter how strong of a punch I throw, he'll counter it. Now then, let's begin the cross-examination. There have been times when I took a job without having met my client.
Hold it!
And why could you not meet certain clients? Recently, I have been receiving more requests. I met each and every client, I would lose some nice business opportunities. Nice business opportunities? On top of which, the times have changed. It's now the age of information and computers, correct? Well, I have joined the times and now take requests via electronic mail. Electronic mail? You have to mail that in a special insulated envelope? I'm very sorry. I despise the shortening of words. What I meant by electronic mail is what is commonly referred to as email. Email? In a contest of mimicry, the judge would beat a parrot hands down.
Anyway, so you took this job without having met your client, and...
The request was for the murder of one Karita and 2 or 3 other small things.
Hold it!
2 or 3 other things? Yes. And what were these other things? A few other things that have nothing to do with this case. What should I do? Should I let him slide with that? It'd be really bad if I pushed his buttons the wrong way and he got mad. Whether or not they're related to this case is for the court to decide. Mr. Attorney. Yes? Everything I have said from the beginning has been nothing but beneficial to your client. Which is why I wonder what is it you're pushing you to continue with this cross-examination. Could it be that you are planning to betray your own client? That's... I smell the stench of a backstabber. And should you turn out to be the one... Oh, wait! Uh-oh. This is looking really bad. I shouldn't press my luck. Alright, I have to think. Is this worth pursuing? Witness, this is a very important matter. Please cooperate and tell us what these other jobs your client requested are. It's surely that important. I suppose I don't have much of a choice. The bear figurine. The bear figurine? After the assassination of the target, I was to find that figurine. I was told that this job was just as important as the actual killing. And where was that figurine? It was inside Mr. Karita's suitcase. And then, what did you do next? I handed it over to my client right away. You gave it to your client? Interesting. This information certainly sounds important to me. Witness, please include what you just stated in your testimony. As you wish. One of these was to find the bear figurine and to give it to Adrian Andrews.
Objection!
Shelley the Killer. If you had really given the bear to Miss Andrews, then this item should not have been inside it. This item?
I see where you're going.
Yep, that's where I'm going.
Where is everyone going? Do I need to pack a suitcase?
No. Your Honor, please think back to Miss Adrian Andrews' testimony. And I was going to burn it for her sake. If even for a single minute, this bear had actually been in Miss Andrews' hands, I'm sure she would have taken the note out and burned it. Oh, we got him now. Order, order, order. So what? So that's where you two were going.
So by the very fact that the suicide note was still inside the bear, it tells us that your client didn't know how to disassemble the puzzle. Which means... It means, Your Honor, that it is impossible for Adrian Andrews to be the client. Oh!
Order, order, order! Mr. Phoenix, right? I'm sure I mentioned this before. How I hate traitors above all else. I think your cross-examination has clearly demonstrated something to me. You must wish to break your end of our agreement. No! That's enough! If that is your intention, then there is only one thing for me to do. Wait! Please! Gentlemen, ladies, please excuse me. I have a matter that I must attend to.
Hold it!
No! Please! Not that! Please wait! Mr. Attorney, bring this trial to a speedy end, and I may stay my hand otherwise.
What in the... Mr. Wright, are you... Mr. Edworth? Yes, Your Honor. I didn't understand this witness outburst just now. Do you think there is a need to hear more testimony, or is this enough? Well, it should.
I can't do this. If I keep this up, I am the shield.
Prosecution, what has come over everyone? Even you all. Prosecution, rest. What is going on around here? The prosecution has no further questions, Your Honor.
What?
Well, I never thought I'd see the day. This is a most unusual situation. And the prosecution rests with no further questions. Then, the prosecution has failed to uphold its stance. If that's the case, then even though I am reluctant, I must believe that Mr. DeKiller's testimony is accurate. That would mean that Shelley DeKiller's client is Adrian Andrews.
Oh no.
Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor?
If I end the trial here right now, then your client, Matt on guard, would be declared innocent. And in his place, Adrian Andrews would be charged with murder.
Miss Andrews? Would be charged with murder? Oh boy.
Prosecution has no further questions, so we will now hear the defense's final remarks. Bailiff, please bring the defendant, Matt on guard, to the stand.
The items from the killer's hideout didn't make it in time. We tried as hard as we could, but it looks like our time has run out. I can't believe it. The outcome now lies in your hands. Dude, did the old guy finally decide?
To be honest, I can't think of you as a truly innocent and good person. You have done enough evil to drive a woman to suicide. But, at least on the charge of murder, it would appear you are innocent.
Man. So, I guess even the old fuddy-duddy figured me out.
Mr. Rungard.
What an atrocious lawyer I have, giving his own client up like this. And that refreshing like a spring breeze crap, it's just as atrocious, don't you agree? Anyway, get on with it and pronounce me innocent already. Right, Mr. Lawyer? Should I side with justice? Or should I save Maya's life? better get unguarded guilty sentence, okay? But if I did that, I will die. But if I say he's innocent, then Miss Andrews will be charged as the murderer. Do I say he's guilty or not guilty? Either choice I make, someone's life is going to end. It all hinges on what I choose. Well done, Mr. Wright. Let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter. The person who hired the assassin was Adrian Andrews. And your client, Mr. Matt on Guard, is innocent. There's no need to ask, old man. After all, my lawyer's gonna say what I want, aren't you?
Right.
I can't do this, but I have to decide something. I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. My client, Matt on Guard, is... Sorry, Maya. We're waiting for your answer, Mr. Wright. Man on guard, your client deserves an answer. I'm sorry. Matt on guard is...
Objection!
Oh, Franzesius here! Franzesio von Karma! What are you doing here? Ow! You see now, don't you, Mr. Phoenix Wright? This is exactly why you should never take your eyes off that scruffy fool.
Did you bring them? The final pieces? Do you have them?
You should know better than to ask that, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Von Karma is perfect in every way. The evidence in here is in perfect condition. Don't worry about Scruffy. He's fine and his injuries are minor. All of the items are inside this.
What a filthy old coat this is.
That's gumshoes. I can spot his tattered rags anywhere. I apologize for its ugliness, but there was nothing else to wrap the items in. I fought long and hard this whole trial. All for what is inside that raggedy cart. I'm sure that inside that cart lies a crucial piece of evidence. Your Honor, inside that filthy cart are the defense's final pieces of evidence.
Your final evidence?
This trial is already over. All that remains is for me to hand out my verdict. I do not believe that any evidence presented now would change the outcome of this trial. What?
Objection!
Your Honor, it is our duty to examine every piece of evidence, down to the last. I request that Miss Von Karma be allowed to present these pieces of evidence.
I suppose you are right, Mr. Edgeworth. I grant permission to do so. However, this one obvious rule applies here. If these items do not bring up any new points, then they will not be accepted by this court. Now, Miss Von Karma, if you please. These are evidence items left by the killer during his escape from the police. Must have been in quite a rush. Yes, Your Honor. The killer left 3 pieces of evidence. Somewhere among the evidence we're about to see, there will be something that will turn this whole situation around, like a miracle. I'm sure of it. That's all we can hope for. The first item is a pistol. Does the killer's pistol have anything to do with this case? Probably not. I'm pretty sure there was no gun involved in this case. There's no real benefit to hearing about it. Please present the next piece of evidence. The second piece of evidence is this videotape that the killer took down from Ungod's mansion. Have you checked the contents of that tape? Unfortunately, there was no time to. Oh yeah. But I would speculate that this tape is very important.
Why would you say that?
Because he came back to his hideout for it. The killer went back for it? That's right. It looks like he was trying to recover it. He injured 3 of the officers at the site. But somehow, it looks like they managed to protect it from the killer. Clearly the killer is no ordinary man. The last piece of evidence is his bellboy's uniform. Is that a uniform from the Gateway Hotel? Was that used during the crime? I'm almost certain it was. There's even a pair of black leather gloves in one of the pockets. There's no doubt about it. The killer was wearing this up the night of the murder. There's one thing I found interesting about this uniform.
What was that?
There's a button missing on this uniform. A button? It's a very unique button. I'm sure if we were to recover it, it would provide us with an interesting clue. That is all I have to present, Your Honor. Just as I thought. And what is that, Your Honor? I'm sure we were under normal circumstances. These items from Shirley the Killer's hideout would be very important clues. However, our question is not who did the killing. It is who's the client. Yes, that is correct. And these 3 items do not tell us anything about that. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Von Kama. You may step down now.
Hold it!
Wait, Your Honor! Please, allow me to examine this new evidence.
Overruled. This court already has all the evidence it needs to hand down a verdict.
Wonderful. Absolutely splendid. This judge is such a brilliant man, isn't he? Is this the end? Phoenix. I knew it. There's no such thing as a miracle in this world, is there? I think you're wrong. I think they do exist. But you have to make that miracle happen. You've come this far, you can't give up now. But no matter how you think about it, it's... Try for my sake. Just think about it for a second. There are 2 ways out of this situation for us. 2? The first... Make Angad wish from the bottom of his soul for a guilty verdict. Huh? The killer will always place his client's wishes first. If Angad himself wishes to be convicted, then he will let his hostage go. That may be true, but... That's asking me to do the impossible! The second way? Force the killer to end his contract with Angad. If the killer would no longer think of Angad as his client, then he would let Maya go. Mia! That's even more impossible! He's a man who values his duty towards his client above all else. I know both of these seem like impossible feats at first, but if he can make either one happen, it would truly be a miracle. The bigger problem is, the judge has already said he doesn't need any more evidence. The pieces he would just shown, he's not accepting them. Phoenix, think things through from the other side. Isn't that what we always worked for? Isn't that... the other side? Wait, does she mean... You mean to turn things around? Phoenix, the judge says he doesn't need the evidence. If that's the case, then who does need it? The person who needs the evidence? The defense, prosecution, and the judge, we have seen all the pieces of evidence. And that is how we have come to the truth. But there is one person who has yet to see them all. And that person does not know the truth. That truth may be what will bring about the miracle in the end.
There are no objections this time, correct? Now then, I will pronounce my verdict.
I know we all respectfully sit back and listen, kids.
Objection!
I've already told you, Mr. Wright. This court does not need any more evidence.
I'm not saying it is us that needs the evidence, Your Honor.
Then, you wanted to show the evidence to that person?
Yes, Your Honor. Please, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, for you to ask with such passion, I will grant you one chance.
One chance?
Please show your evidence to who you think is the right person.
Objection!
It's impossible to turn the situation around in one try. One try. That is all I will permit.
Let's try to remember. Everything that has happened up to this point. Think, Phoenix, think! There must be a way to save Maya while taking on God down at the same time.
Alright, Mr. Wright, let's not waste any more time. Who would you like to show evidence to?
telescope, one piece of evidence would you like to show this person? It would be the videotape.
Take that!
Well, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth?
I think there is some merit in showing this evidence to this witness.
Bailiff, please bring in the transceiver from earlier. Alright, looks like I managed to convince him. Alright, here we go. What? She's okay, right? Didn't I tell you to concern yourself with bringing about a speedy end to this trial? Now, if I understand correctly, you wish to show me one piece of evidence. Yes, one is all I need. I have here a videotape. It was found at your hideout. I heard you injured 3 officers in your attempt to get this back. That was most regrettable. However, there was an order from my client. I was told to protect that videotape. I thought so. I'm afraid I seem to have failed in that regard. Do you know the contents of this tape? I was only told by my client to not watch it. So I absolutely have no idea. Actually, you are on this tape. See? There was a video camera hidden at the crime scene. Your actions were being recorded. What? Is that true, Mr. Wright? Who was it that planted that camera? Well, the only person who could have placed the camera at the scene of the crime would be your client, naturally. But that was Adrian Andrews.
Be quiet and listen, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Your client specified a place and time for you, isn't that right?
Yes.
That was so they could film you. I had no idea. Mr. Wright, why would my client do such a thing? I would like to know why. Why did Matt Ungard film the crime scene? The reason why he did that is my ticket out of this whole mess. There's only one reason why a client would secretly film the crime scene. They were gonna blackmail you. Your client once told me something very interesting. They were talking about you, and this is what they said. But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone, least of all assassins. Oh, come now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. Yes, that's where the video comes in. With that, I can keep him at bay and even blackmail him if I want. Your client didn't trust you at all. They were thinking of using this video to blackmail you. What do you have to say to that, Shelley the Killer? It looks like I was being deceived from the very beginning. Yes, by a natural. That is the kind of person they are. Your client is a person who only thinks and plots of how to use the people around them to protect themselves from any and all dangers that may arise. That is the true nature of your client.
I have one question for the witness.
Yes?
You told us one thing numerous times during your testimony. You said that you detest traitors most of all.
Yes, that's right.
But what if that traitor was your own client? What would you do then?
That's obvious. I would break our contract in that case. And then, the client would become my next target. For the honor of the killer name, even if it takes an eternity, I would follow that person to the ends of the earth to exact my punishment. Let's go.
I see. That's all I wanted to know.
So the traitor becomes the killer's next target. Ah, I get it. This is how we'll turn this case around. Mr. Wright? Yes? My contract with my client is over as of now. I seem to have a new job on my hands. I will now return to you your precious item. What the? I'm not an item! Maya, I thought I'd never see you again. Oh, thank goodness. This trial appears to have come to its conclusion. However, I am sort of... I don't quite know what just happened there with the client and the witness and... Whoa! Miss Fontoma, where did that...
She always has you in her sights. Now, I do believe it's time to finally hand down a verdict.
Alright, here we go. Oh, he's shitting himself. Haha. Mr. Ungod, looks like somehow you got what you wanted. You'll finally receive the acquittal you wanted so badly. You should be happy.
But before that, I would like to make one final statement. Sometime in the near future, one very betrayed assassin may appear before you. Needless to say, that man is very good at what he does. I'm sure you would understand what I mean if you watch this video. Help me. Now then, Your Honor, the verdict, if you please.
Is this alright with you, Mr. Wright? We have finally reached the end of a very long battle. When he's convicted or acquitted, there is no escape for him now. Go on, Phoenix. Plead whichever way your heart tells you. Right, Chief. So basically, guilty or not guilty, his life is basically over. So, getting him a not guilty, he's basically gonna get killed. Pleading guilty means he's going to just be locked up. You know what? He said he wanted help. I'm gonna help him. Matt on God. Even though I am a lawyer, I cannot make your crime disappear. I think a guilty verdict is appropriate here.
Me? My wonderful self? Guilty?
Even if you got an acquittal, the instant you set foot outside the detention center, your life would be in danger. No matter which way you look at it, you can't run away from your crime anymore. No! Guilty! 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 Just scratched his fucking face off. Holy shit. As always, it looks like we have uncovered the real truth. I don't remember you helping out much in this. Mr. Redworth, how is Matt on guard?
I left Mr. Onkama in charge of his incarceration. I'm sure he's getting a full-course meal of whipped leather right about now.
I would love to see that. Very good. That was a close one, wasn't it? Witness?
Yes.
I plan to pay my debt to society for my own crime, Your Honor. The first time I was called to the witness stand during this trial, all I felt was despair. She must be talking about the time Edgeworth really went after her. I guess she's trying to forgive him for what he did.
This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. If you're going to say you would choose death, that is no concern to me.
But after that, when I was alone at the detention center, that's the first time I really saw myself for who I am. And today, when the two of you used your combined strength to convict Matt, I felt I had finally been saved. Wow, this is the first time I've ever seen a smile. I'm really happy that you two were in charge of this case. Oh, thanks. I really don't know how to express how I feel at this moment. This is the first time I felt comfortable in myself with who I am. Thank you so much, everyone. Oh, you're welcome, Adrian. It looks like we have resolved everything at last. As for myself, there are still a few things I'm confused about. But everyone seems to be in good spirits. And that is good enough for me. That is all. This court is adjourned. Alright, let's go. Woo! You were great out there, Phoenix. What I did out there was right, wasn't it? This is the first time you've not gotten your client off. You got them a guilty verdict this time. But you have to look past all of that to what's really important. You now realize that there is something more than just getting a not guilty, right? Yes, I understand now. Phoenix, think back for a second. Think to the moments before Miss Von Karma arrived with the final pieces of evidence. Think about the incredible decision you had to make.
Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear the defense's final statements on this matter.
I can't count on the evidence to help me anymore. I have to listen to my heart. Should I side with justice, or should I save Maya's life? My client, Matt Ungard, is he guilty, or is he not guilty? Those were your choices then. And your answer? Your answer spoke to what being a lawyer means to you.
Right.
Edgeworth.
Good news. Maya is now safe in police custody.
Really? You're telling us the truth, right, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, she's quite safe. She's on her way here as we speak in a patrol car.
Oh, thank God. Mystic Maya's safe. You did it, you really did it, Mr. Nick. Ow! She punched deceptively hard for a kid. I believe in you. I kept saying to myself, Mr. Nick will save her. Mr. Nick will save her. It's okay, pals. We did it. Thanks. Oh, what's wrong? Miss Von Karma. Look, I know we had our differences, but you really did help me out here today. So, why don't we just bury the hatchet and, about earlier, thanks. Ow! Why are you still smiling, Mr. Phoenix, Wright? You lost. Your perfect win record has now been crushed. And yet, you're still happy? I don't think you'll ever understand, Miss Von Karma. How dare you?
Don't worry. She may in time. After all, I was like that myself until a year ago.
Edgeworth?
For my own personal victories, and for guilty verdicts. I used every dirty trick in the book, and so my win record remained spotless. But the man appeared and stood fast against the selfish me. I fought him in my usual manner and tasted my first defeat. I felt like I had lost everything because of that. And then it was my turn to sit in the defendant's chair. And I was saved by that person I called my enemy. I couldn't forgive myself for all that happened, so I left the prosecutor's office. And I left that note. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death.
As well as you should have. A prosecutor who ashamed himself of defeat should crawl into a hole and die.
But that was not what happened. After I left the prosecutor's office, I finally came to realize something. And it was in that moment of clarity that everything began to change.
But what foolish nonsense.
The prosecutors use anything we can to attack the defendant. But every time we did so,
Objection!
no matter how desperate the situation, instead of giving up like most people, that man would hold strong with his undying faith. And then, before I knew it, I began to trust in that man as well.
What? You trusted your enemy?
Doesn't matter how many underhanded tricks a person uses. The truth will always find a way to make itself known. The only thing we can do is to fight with the knowledge we hold and everything we have. Erasing the paradoxes one by one. It's never easy. We claw and scratch for every inch. But we will eventually reach that one single truth. This I promise you.
The truth?
Yes, that's the reason why prosecutors and defense attorneys exist. I'm sure you knew that already, didn't you, Wright? why you couldn't forgive me, this man who went into hiding. Isn't that right? This man who only had his sights set on victory, who ran away into the night. Is Mr. Edgeworth right, Mr. Nick? Really let me down. When he disappeared, I felt betrayed. The reason I decided to become a lawyer to begin with was because I believed in the things you said to me all those years ago. And you betrayed your own words. That's why 1 year ago, I made up my mind. I decided that the Mars Edgeworth I knew had died. At least, that's what I told myself. You pathetic fool! Miss Van Kammer? I don't want to hear the wretched whimpering of a disgraced loser. Van Kammer is someone who is destined to be perfect. Miles Edgeworth, you are no longer worthy. You are no longer worthy of being a Van Kammer. And neither am I. It's over. It's all over. Franziska threw something on the ground just now. This is an electromagnetic receiver.
Isn't that the thing she uses to distract Detective Gumshoe?
I'll return this to the precinct later. There's something else.
Isn't that Miss Van Kammer's whip?
I'll never set foot in another courtroom again. I'm sure that's what she's saying by this action. You should keep this, right?
Okay. Nick! Maya! Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! Oh man. Oh. That's... wow. Nick, I knew you would come through. You got convicted, like I knew you would. And on top of that, you even rescued me. Well, of course I did. You know I would never desert you. But we sure pressed our luck this time. You're really lucky to be standing here. Whatever. Look, it's over, okay? Besides, if I did croak, I would just come back and haunt you like a bad ghost through Pearly. Is it really that easy to do something like that? And thanks a lot, Nick. Did I mention it?
Maya.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth.
I'm relieved you're alright.
Hey, looks like you've made some real progress, Mr. Edgeworth.
Well, I suppose I'm a little different from who I was a year ago.
Alright. I think it's time we got out of this depressing place. Huh? Where are we going? Food, Nick! Food! Grub! Chow! I'm starved. I'm so hungry even you look like a nice juicy burger and a bun to me, Nick. You think I look like a burger? I'm a prime rib at least. Come with us, Mr. Edgeworth, please.
If you insist.
Alright, so how about we hit up our usual burger joint? Don't be silly, Nick. Huh? This case messed up that awesome evening and got in the way of my gourmet food. I decided that we have to make it up by having another feast. Another feast? Come on, Nick. Food!
Hey pal, sorry to keep you guys waiting.
Oh my god, Gumshoe, are you alright?
Yeah, but I'm really embarrassed. I didn't think I would hit a telephone pole of all things.
A telephone pole? Then it wasn't a red light that got him. You did it again, city boy. I felt like my dear old heart was gonna give out on me, and I ain't joking.
Yeah, it was more exciting than the very last episode of The Steel Samurai.
Thanks. Now looky here, Mr. Snooty Prosecutor. Don't you reckon you bully Mr. Wright too hard? If you don't start being a lot nicer to him, he might just kick it. Tonight, even.
I'll keep that in mind.
Well, come on now. Everyone gather around. You're only gonna get your picture taken by a genuine professional photographer. But Looks like Lotta bought herself a new camera. Well, pal, at least we can put this messy case behind us now. Come on, tonight's all about eating, so let's go chow down, pal. Amen to that, pal. Amen.
You know, when you think about it, you were the ones who saved the day, Detective. Huh? Right? You really think so? He's right. It wasn't for the free items you took. I think this trial would have had a very different ending.
Well, you know, it's... Huh? Wait. That's odd. When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir. What? 4? Yeah, I'm sure I put one of the items in my coat pocket. It was a 4th item? Ah, come on, y'all, it's over. But whoo boy, I tell you, you were really something else. Between getting accused of murder and getting kidnapped. Never a dull moment with you, huh? You think? Why does she look so happy about that? And being carried away for 2 whole days? Weren't you scared? Yeah, it was really scary. I felt so hopeless. So to keep my mind off of things, I drew a picture. Sounds like you had it rough, gal. So where's this picture of yours? Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see Mystic Maya's picture. You know, I don't know where it went. Aw, that's too bad. But, well, it's alright. It wasn't anything important anyway. Ah. Sure, it's nice to finally see them both smiling again. What is it, Edgeworth?
This thing is picking something up. Ah, that's Miss Von Karma's receiver. Oh, thanks to her, I had the most awful experience of my life, sir. Can't believe she stuck a tracking device on me. That's odd. Even though you're standing right here, the tracking device seems to be in a different location. Oh, probably busted or something, sir. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm afraid it's about time for me to excuse myself. I still have some work to do.
Huh? But Mr. Edgeworth, you haven't even eaten anything yet. And you've eaten way too much, you glutton.
I had fun tonight. You'll excuse me.
Wait!
What?
I just want to say, thanks, Edgeworth. You really saved me out there.
If anyone should be saying thanks, it should be me, right?
I feel like words alone aren't enough here. I wonder if there's anything I can give him to express how I feel.
Take that!
What's this?
Thank you. It's all thanks to you two. You and her.
You don't need to thank me. I was only doing my job.
It looks like Mr. Edgeworth has left, Mr. Nick. Hey, Mystic Maya. Yes, Pearly? I guess you two can go back to being lovey-dovey, right? You and Mr. Nick, Pearly! Would you cut it out already? You're embarrassing me.
Anyway, so who's paying for this lovely dinner party?
As if you need to ask. Everyone say thank you to Nick.
Huh? Yeah, I'm kinda at the point where I can't even buy instant noodles, pal. I gotta already put your name on the bill.
Yeah, I got me a situation just like that myself. There's this camera shop in this hotel, see? And I just bought myself this good old beauty here. It'd be better be anyhow for $3,000. Actually, I reckon they bought it from me since it's on your tab and all. Isn't this great, Mr. Nick? Yeah, Nick. Why do I suddenly feel like screaming? Aw, you don't need to hold back now, you hear?
Yeah, pal. Time to let it all out.
It's gonna be the first time I hear the real you. Go on, it's been a while since I heard you say it. I've been busy being a hostage and all. Alright then, if you say so.
Objection!
Well, that's the end of it. Whew. Man. What a case. You really came through for me, Nick. I had to hide that letter, but I knew you'd find it. I really feel like I've been living on the edge lately. I mean, I've escaped death 3 times now. Pretty cool, huh? I feel like a pro. Well, I'm so happy that you could save Mr. Maya, Mr. Nick. And I'm so happy for the 2 of you. Speaking of which, I think this hotel is a popular place for honeymooners. So I sort of made reservation for the 2 of you, just in... Come on, Pally. Come on, pal. Oh, pal, it looks like I'm back on the force again. Oh! Mr. Edgeworth had a long talk with the chief, and he got me reinstated for my sake. I heard he said things like, letting that one go is bad for all of society. I knew it! Crashing headlong into everything is the only way to live, pal. I wouldn't say so, but congrats on getting your job back. Yeah! Oh, yeah. I, Maggie Bird, am retiring this uniform as of today, sir. I'm gonna be a waitress from now on. And bring smiles and joys to the people who come by the restaurant, sir. I hope you'll stop by sometime, Mr. Wright. Oh, good for you. Good for you, Bird. Oh god, this guy.
Yes. Are you here to visit the patient? I'm Director Hardy. Oh. Recently, yes, that girl, you know, I haven't seen her around. Yes. But I remember, if I even laid so much as an eye on her, it would go crack. It didn't matter if I got whipped, though.
Oh, God. Oh, no, it's this guy.
It's time to begin our quest of world circus domination. And to let the whole world know we are serious, I plan to make a fabulous flight to Zimbabwe.
Hey, Max, what do you think Zimbabwe is like? Do you think there are castles made of cake and bunnies who can talk?
I figured there are talking bunnies, even they won't laugh at most jokes.
That I agree. I'm ready! I'm ready! There's no way these jokes are gonna fall on deaf's ears! I'm gonna be more contemporary with my humor. Mo girls, represent! We got a new act all worked out. Prepare for the Hallelujah chorus. Say something, will ya? You're supposed to start this off. Get on with it! What's this? Drat! It's just an ordinary electric razor recharging on a stand. I can't believe this. Really? How long did they plan on making me do this? Oh god. But it's Sergi Pooh's idea, so that means it must have had a deep hidden meaning. But why do I get the feeling they wouldn't forget about me, would they? Ah! It was never like this in the old days. Everyone thought the world of me. They used to call me Queen Wendy, and they treated me. Oh, Jesus. This is gonna feel a pain in my heel. This is speaking of bird playing with fire. It's very dangerous because of that. It's oh, jeez. Oh, hey, Andrews. I appreciate everything you and Mr. Edgeworth did for me from the bottom of my heart. Oh, that's right. I received a letter from Miss Von Kama. She said that after I get out, I should feel free to consult her about anything at all. I'm really thankful to have met everyone. Well, that's great to hear, Adrian. Oh, it has become difficult for me in this country as of late. As such, I will take a short leave of absence. If you'd like to request my services, please be sure to visit my homepage. May we both be blessed with longevity. Okay. Well... Where are you going, Francisco? How did you know I was here?
With this.
Oh, Edgeworth was following her.
That's... I heard you were planting things on a certain person. Things like tracking devices in his coat, for example.
That's just like you. I only planted it there because he was always wearing it. This filthy drab coat of his. I don't know how it ended up in my luggage. But it's going in the trash, I promise you that.
Oh, that's right. Speaking of that man, he told me something very interesting.
When I ran off with the things from the killer's hideout, I was sure I took 4 things in total, sir. 4 things? It seems he put the last one in his coat pocket. He put it in here? It doesn't matter anymore. The case is already over.
What are you going to do now?
That's none of your business.
Are you running away?
Shut up! You don't understand a thing. You can't possibly understand what it means to be Manfred von Kammer's daughter.
Francisco.
So many expectations from everyone around me, expectations I must fulfill. I'm expected to win no matter what. And failure? Such a thing is not an option for me. My father was a genius, there's no doubt about that. But me, I'm no genius, I've always known that. But I had to be one, I had to.
You may not be a genius like your father, but you're a prosecutor. You have been and always will be.
No, I am not. Not anymore. I've even thrown my whip away.
Speaking of that, Wright gave me this to hold on to.
Right. You knew something like this would happen, didn't you?
I'm going to say this again. We prosecutors do not fight for personal honor or pride. I hope you will think deeply about what you should be striking down with that whip.
You haven't changed a bit. You've always let me alone and walked me on ahead without me. Miles Edgeworth, I've always hated you. And then, finally, my chance to take my revenge on you arrived. If I could win against that man, if I could make Phoenix Wright bow down in defeat, then this girl you left behind would have risen higher than you. That was supposed to be my revenge.
I see.
You know, I can't do it. I can't change who I am. I can't throw away everything I've been until today.
I believe you can. Just like how Adrian Andrews did.
Adrian Andrews?
You were going to use her during the trial, right?
But you
were dependent on your father by using his tactics. Isn't that right?
Today,
you chased after me after I had left you behind after all these years. And that's why we're standing here now, side by side. But I have no intention of stopping. If you say you are going to quit your walk down the prosecutor's path, then this is where we part ways, Francisco von Kammer.
Oh.
I am Francisco von Kammer. Don't think I'm going to walk in your shadow forever. Our battle begins now. So you had better prepare yourself, Miles Edgeworth.
Oh. Phoenix Wright. One day, someday, I'm sure we'll meet again in battle. Until then, this last piece of evidence that never made it to you, I'll take good care of this 4th piece, so I can give it to you when at last we meet again. Oh, that's the drawing. Oh, so she's keeping it. Wow. You know, for all the bad things I said about Francisca up until now, she has definitely redeemed herself. Well, that was justice for all. Before I end this video, I guess I'll just say a couple things. So Justice for All, me personally, it's a good game, but there were some things that, compared to the first game, it really lacked. Like, the first game had more interesting cases in this one. I'm not saying the second game doesn't have any interesting cases. It definitely did, but it only had like 2 good cases. The first case was, a tutorial case, which, I can understand the reasoning why they needed to put that there, because, it's the first level of the game, you have to teach it to players, alright? And then there was, the circus case, which is, my least favorite case. So yeah, compared to the first game, like, I still love the game, don't get me wrong, I still love Justice for All, but I kind of preferred the first a little more. That being said, there are some things that I did like in the second game. I did like the investigation parts a little better. I do think the investigations in Justice for All are done way better than in the first game. The first game, it was very repetitive. Like, you just have to talk to a person, present something, go to the next person, present something, rinse, repeat. The second game, they introduced the Cyclock mechanics, and I really like that. Because, it actually gives us something more challenging than, just talking to witnesses. So I really like that. I really like that. As for the story itself, it's good. It's really good. That final case in Justice for All, that probably be my new favorite case right now. Farewell, My Turnabout. So that's my new favorite case. I really love that case, and the ending was such a feel-good moment. But so yeah, that's basically it for Justice for All. But we are not done yet. We have one more game to go in this trilogy. So we have finished the first game. We have finished the second game. We are going to move to the third game, Trials and Tribulations. And we will be starting that very soon. But until then, if you guys like this video, please be sure to give this a like and subscribe to see more videos like this in the future. Until then, take care and goodbye.